Officer Tatum started off criticizing black people in Black America, while at the same time building his career with Turning Point USA. Now, Turning Point USA is founded by Charlie Kirk, and we all know that Turning Point USA was a bridge for people like himself and Candace Owens, and also Blexit. And of course, Turning Point USA took in a lot of Jewish money, and that is when we really get into more of a deeper conversation. You see, Brandon Tatum criticized Black America and white liberals for years, but as you know, as an influencer, you kind of got to move with the times. You just can't talk about the same things over and over again. The next step is making a position, and that position is going to piss somebody off. We've seen it with so many people, such as the Hodge twins and Candace Owens. And Candace Owens at first was very pro-Israel. Then she went to Daily Wire, and then we found out that she's not. And the same thing has happened with other people, such as Myron, and also Brandon Tatum. Now, Officer Tatum had built a large following full of people who just couldn't understand black dysfunction. But now Brandon Tatum is simping hard for Israel, like big time hard. And not only is he simping hard for Israel, he's coming after one of the #1 guys in the conservative movement on a consistent basis. Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson is one of the most thorough conservatives on planet Earth. He is like a 10 out of a 10 when it comes to interviews, debates. I mean, his show on Fox News was top notch. Even when he got fired, he had the best show on Fox News. I believe he got fired because of a lawsuit or something that he did. He cost the network a lot of money, so he had to go. But Tucker Carlson is the gold standard. He is well respected in conservative politics. He's been in the game a lot longer than Officer Tatum. But the reality is that Tucker Carlson also has criticisms against Israel. And this is the issue that Brandon Tatum has. You see, on one end, Officer Tatum does respect the fact that Tucker Carlson is the real deal.
I don't want nothing to do. I've lost faith in Tucker Carlson. I never really liked him a lot. I didn't like how he talked. Like, he was very condescending and he's just weird. But I respected his gangster because he was keeping it real. On Fox News, he was hitting them over the head. He would do tough interviews with Trump or anybody. And then somehow a tapeworm got in him, and now he just say the craziest stuff on planet Earth.
Now, he even says, yes, I don't really like his cockiness or his attitude, but you know what? I do like his style. Not gonna lie. But then he says this.
How in the world do you have a perspective that's rooted in facts, evidence, and somehow you change? And it's funny that you change when you're not on Fox. And it's funny that you change when you have an influx of money coming in, $15 million raised from a person that's not even an American citizen. These people are on record taking money from foreign people, foreign registered money coming in, paying Tucker Carlson to go speak or interview the Qatari leader.
He accuses Tucker Carlson of taking money from Qatar and calls himself Tucker Carlson, right? This is something that's been going on in the conservative movement. Now, this is interesting because Tucker Carlson was also critical of people who take money from Israel. But at the same time, Tucker Carlson seemed to be hypocritical.
Now, for the life of me, I cannot seem to wrap my mind around how any serious Christian conservative would take Taliban Tucker Carlson seriously at this point in his career. This is a man who has bowed the knee to jihad. And I mean what I'm saying. This is a man who has watered down the effects of Sharia law. This is a man who has praised the literal Taliban for their treatment facilities. This is a man who has made a concerted effort to turn Republicans against Israel while worshiping Islam.
Let's talk about FARA. FARA means Foreign Agents Registration Act, okay? It's a U.S. law requiring public disclosures from agents of foreign principal. And so basically these are people who may spend money in America, Israel, Qatar, the UAE, China, people like that, right? And basically people register, they spend money and they try to influence in certain ways, right? And so this is what he is getting at. The problem with Officer Tatum is, while you're calling out Tucker Carlson, you got to call out Charlie Kirk, because Charlie Kirk basically went on a limb discussing the same things about Israel. He was losing money from Israel. And this is something that Officer Tatum doesn't want to deal with. While at the same time, Officer Tatum wants to exude himself from such buffoonery.
But y'all keep saying Brandon Tatum makes $7,000 a month. Y'all ain't looking at his record. There ain't no evidence whatsoever I'm getting paid by nobody. I'm actually kind of mad. I ain't gonna even lie to y'all. I ain't getting no money. And then I'm doing a couple events, Jewish event, free. They ain't even paying me to do events.
Now, the problem with Officer Tatum is he's going to try to call Tucker Carlson a liar, all right? And Tucker Carlson is going to say that Charlie Kirk revealed some information about Israel to him that Brandon Tatum just didn't agree with.
Charlie has not been buried yet, and this is the stuff he's saying. Roll the clip.
He did not like Bibi Netanyahu, and he said that to me many times, and he said to people around him many times. He felt that Bibi Netanyahu was a very destructive force. He was appalled by what was happening in Gaza. He was, above all, resentful that he believed Netanyahu was using the United States to prosecute his wars for the benefit of his country, and that it was shameful and embarrassing and bad for the United States, and he resented it. Didn't hate Netanyahu. He wasn't out there with a placard saying that, but he certainly expressed that to me and a lot of other people. And there's no question that Bibi's defenders on the internet will call me a liar or a kook, but that's a fact. And enough text messages exist that I think it can probably be verified in pretty short order. Not that it needs to be, because that is true.
Now, we would soon find out that Candace Owens would release text messages saying that all of this information was true. And who looks silly? Tucker Carlson. The most interesting thing for me is when, Charlie Kirk had his memorial, and I wanted to see who was on. Now, I want to talk about the people who spoke at Charlie Kirk's memorial. Let's see if you know any of these people. Number one, Donald Trump. There was Vice President J.D. Vance. There was Erica Kirk, Charlie Kirk's wife. There was Mark Rubio. There was Susie Wiles, White House Chief of Staff. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Pete Hegseth, Tulsi Gabbard, Donald Trump Jr., Tucker Carlson himself. All right. And then you also had some people who were playing musical worship. You want to know who was not allowed or who wasn't speaking at Charlie Kirk's memorial funeral service? Officer Brandon Tatum. And this is the problem with a lot of the black conservatives out there. You're trying to go after somebody who's already made in the movement. They're already legendary in the movement. Despite the fact that Tucker Carlson has some issues with Israel, it doesn't matter, Brandon. You will never be Tucker Carlson. You will never be that respected in the right or on the right. You will never be that respected in the Republican Party. You're just another brother trying to get his attention, and he won't respond to you. And you look silly. Behind the scenes, when you throw shots at Tucker Carlson, people look at you as being out of place. Because who are you to talk about Tucker Carlson? You're just a YouTuber. To be honest, you're a YouTuber with not that much influence. You're not a person that anybody takes serious on the same level of Tucker Carlson. And now you're punching above your pay grade. Everybody sees it when you're trying to call him out, when you're trying to go after him, you're losing less and less and less respect. And the main thing that you should do is go after Candace Owens, but you won't do that because that is instantaneous death. And this is what you look like. You look like you're out there by yourself, that nobody really wants to work with you. And then you're this black conservative guy out there that's just trying to gain some friends, and you don't got no friends on the far right. I mean, the Nick Fuentes people don't like you. Candace Owens is on the other side and you're throwing shots at her. Tucker Carlson is just too big, and so you're just being left behind, bro. And you can't come back to the black community. So the only thing you can do is stick with Israel. You don't have any other choice. And the far right and the moderate right is leaning towards Palestine. Unfortunately for you, okay? That's where it's leaning. We see it with Nick Fuentes. He just got a Spotify deal, all right? Or he's going to be on Spotify. We're seeing that the world is changing before our eyes. And what you're doing is you're trying to go after the guys who have more esteem than you right now. And no matter what you try to do, you can't get around it. You are, my friend, down bad. And I know that you're mad, but it's not my fault. You should have really just stuck on black issues and, well, stop the show. It's going to be hard to stick on black issues when you don't like black people. And again, this is what happens when you out there trying to swirl it up, and now all of a sudden people not going with your narrative, and you're out there just completely down bad. Again, man, people don't respect it, bro. I just don't understand why people think that somebody respects this. They don't. Nobody respects it. I just wish that guys would understand it for what it is, instead of trying to go out there and get approval from somebody else. You could literally, Brandon, have been working with your own people in your own community as a black Republican. All right, you could have stayed in the community, and guess what? You wouldn't have to be out of place going against something that you can't defeat. You can't go up against Tucker Carlson. Bro, who are you? Tucker Carlson is a legend. Do you understand that? A legend in this. You can't beat him, no matter what you say, no matter what you do. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, Charlie Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell. We're out.